guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm about to get this sage lit real quick if I can. I don't like using these matches, but I ran out of my I did it. I ran out of my lighter fluid in my lighter, and I want to get this because today's video, what I'm about to talk about right now, is fear. It's talking about fear. Okay, I'm gonna burn myself. Okay, I just want to clear the energy, clear the air. I've been recording all day, but I was finna stop, and then this message came across. So I'm clearing this energy. This is sage that I'm using. I'm clearing all negative energies from you. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. Release. And you can do this several times. Okay? Now, we are talking about no more fear. Okay? No more fear. I was sitting here and I was done with I just wrapped up my other video, and I was sitting here and I was just thinking, am I done for the day? And I said yes to myself, right? And then in my mind's eye, I seen no fear. Okay? So that's what we're going to be talking about real quick. And it's going to be a short video. I won't keep you too long, okay? Now, the first thing that came up was whatever you're doing, something about you needing to be patient. You need to be patient, okay? Living in that fear isn't helpful at all. Okay? It's not helping you because it's a low vibrational energy that you would be in, right? So when you're thinking about it, it's like the mind's way of saying like something could go wrong, okay? Now, if something is going wrong and you're just in that space of fear, then I would suggest you get out of that space as much as possible. Remove yourself from whatever the situation, the location, the people, whatever are, okay? But in this particular case, we're talking about on the everyday life, right? Like when you're walking around with fear, I have to understand that the fear is your mind's way of saying something might go wrong. And then that starts to bring up a negative, low vibrational energy. If you are tapping into your heart center more often than not, then you will understand what that feels like. When I start to get into a low vibrational state, there's a pit in my stomach. I can feel the denseness. I can feel the heaviness, right? And it's okay for you to be on a positive side and a negative side. Like, just because you're spiritual, it doesn't mean that you can be one or the other. You can. However, you want to find a balance in between the two, okay? You can love the light, but you can also love the dark. And when I say love the dark, I'm saying from a perspective of using that energy in order to get what you need to get done, in order to complete the work, in order to heal, in order to use it as motivations for you to become the best version of yourself, okay? Now, in spiritual terms, fear is low vibrational, and it often means it's keeping us from something. It's the trusting the unknown. It's stepping into our purpose, fear of receiving abundance, receiving love, creating change, okay? Now, also the fear that it might not happen fast enough, or the fear that it's not coming or it's not producing enough fast enough, right? Because that's one of the things here. But what I need you to understand is that you have to find balance with this, and here's why. Because fear stems from different places like childhood trauma, ancestral programming, collective energy, and lack of self-trust, okay? Now, this is trust let's start at childhood experience first, okay? Let's just go there first. This is talking about trauma, fear of criticism, fear of abandonment, ancestral programming. We're talking about fears passed on through generations, okay? And in our community, this is something that needs to be eradicated. We should not be passing on fear from us to our children. We should not be passing on fear from us to anyone, okay? Now, because we're all divinely connected energetically, this is easier to happen than not. So when you're in that phase, you need to understand what exactly is happening. And that means keep energy in a state where you are balanced, okay? Now, when we're talking about collective energy, this is absorbing the fears and stuff that's going on around us. So there's a lot of things happening in the political sector of our universe, right? So when we're thinking about all these things and we're thinking about all the things that are happening, all the things that are changing, and the things that people are saying and commenting on, they're fearing everything. They're literally putting fear, and people are jumping on this fear bandwagon unknowingly, to the point where they feel like, okay, well, that comment kind of resonates with me. So then you start to put yourself in that same frequency, but you have to get to a point where you're able to observe what is being done and said and remove your emotions from it, okay? And follow whatever you need. Now, a lot of this comes through social media. It comes through society as a whole, okay? And when we're talking about lack in self-doubt, like self-trust, this comes from not in yourself, not trusting that it can actually happen, not trusting or believing that you can do it. And again, that can stem all the way from childhood, okay? That can come all the way from childhood trauma, okay? So when you're thinking about it, don't put yourself in a space where you are negatively looking at it, because this is something that you can heal. This is something that you can remove from yourself, okay? Now, it also means that you're not trusting or having faith in the universe, source, or God, or your angels and guides, right? There's so many things that are like, that's detailed in that, okay? Now, I understand that there are so many things that are happening. There are so many religions. There are so many belief systems. But what do you believe? It doesn't matter what other people say. It's about you. The creator gave you the point to be able to create. So if you are supposed to be creator, then why aren't you creating the reality that you want? Because that's the key to a lot of these situations that we go through. We tend to lean on and piggy bank off things from other people that's been given to us, for one, from childhood. Number two, we tend to see our friends and we see the things that's happening in the world, and we tend to want to like join in on that thing. And then sometimes it's just the need to be and go along with other things, but that doesn't always help because it keeps us stuck, okay? And if you're stuck, if you're in that space of you're feeling stuck in everything, it's not going to bring what you truly desire to you. It's going to allow you to just remain in that energy and have that jagged energy flowing all over the place. And then you'll end up in a space where you receive something, but it may not be what you desire to receive, okay? In the way that you desire to receive it, or it may not even be the perfect thing for you. It could just be you manifesting a house, but you're in such a negative energy, so now you manifest a house that need a lot of work. The pipes broke, bug infested, it floods easily, it caught fire. Like, there's certain things like you need to make sure you're putting in alignment when you are in this space, as far as manifestation and on a spiritual and physical level. And that is why we're talking about removing the fear, right? So, forms of fear, okay? And this can be disguised in many ways, okay? Fear isn't always obvious. Sometimes it looks like procrastination because you fear failure, okay? It can look like control because you fear chaos. I know for a fact that I was one who feared control. Well, feared chaos, because I did not want to go through hectic situations. I did not want to go through everything else. So I tried my best to try to hold on to everything really tightly and make sure that it was like under like a level of control to me, in a sense. Overthinking is fear of making the wrong choices. Bro, we all have this, okay? Like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you are an overthinker, if you fear or you feel like you need to be a control freak, if you feel like you are procrastinating, these are all forms of fear. You're living in fear. So it's not just being afraid, it's literally coming out in different things, in different ways, right? So also, there's also perfectionism. Like, if you're one of those people that you feel like it gotta be perfect, that's because you fear not being good enough. Okay? If there's jealousy, if you're jealous of other people, and I don't know who needs to hear this, But if you're carrying jealousy of other people, of their nice things, of the things that they're doing, of the places they're going, if the way they dress, the way they look, then you have a fear of not being good enough, okay? And not having enough, really. You have a fear of not having enough, and that's not beneficial. It's not beneficial to you, okay? Because when we're talking about it from a spiritual perspective, here's what you need to know, especially from your root chakra. That means your root chakra needs to be healed. That means you're not in a space of safety. You're feeling like you need to be in survival mode. Okay, that means it could be an unbalance there. It can manifest as anxiety, scarcity mindset, doubt. It can manifest as feeling unsafe, unsupported, or stuck. Okay, there's so many things that we go through and we're not even looking at it from this perspective. Fear blocks everything, okay? It blocks the flow of abundance, your intuition, and your manifestation. It can block a lot of the energy, the positive energies that we are looking to come into, right? So when we're thinking about it, like, does it benefit us to be in fear? Really ask yourself that question, because a lot of the times, like, we are meant to start things that are new. And in order to start those things that are new, we're going to have to remove the things that are no longer serving, right? And that means standing in your authority, standing in your power, grounding yourself, and allowing yourself to deal with those energies that are actually coming up, because it's truly important that you decide when and where and how you are being activated and in what way. Okay? You don't want to be constantly activating fear. Okay, now let's talk about this real quick. How to heal and transmute fear. Because this is something that we need to do on a everyday basis until it becomes something that is just instilled in us, that it becomes something that we can just like fully step into, right? Now, you want to name it, face it. Name it and face it, okay? When you know you're afraid of something and something doesn't sit right with you, something isn't feeling the way you want it to feel, right? And that fear come up. You have to stop and ask yourself, like, why do I feel this way? And then say it out loud to yourself. I feel this way because I feel like I won't have this. I feel this way because this hasn't happened yet. I feel this way because, and then fill in the blank, okay? But you have to face that feeling. You have to face and address that. And then you can say out loud. If you say it out loud, it loses its power. It loses the power when you say it out loud. So when you get to a point where you say, oh man, I'm afraid that, I won't have enough to pay my bills. That's why I feel like this. Okay, now you're in that space where it can now lose its power. You're taking the power away from it because it's not having to dwell here, right? So because it's not having to dwell there, what you need to do next is start to breathe your way through it, okay? And I have been talking about this over the past, literally a lot of my videos, breathing deep, which I like to call meditative breathing. That's breathing in through your nose, inhaling 5 to 6 seconds, hold it for 4 or more. I like to do more. Exhaling it 5 to 6 seconds. You can even go as long as you want, inhaling, holding it, and exhaling, okay? For me, the longer I inhale and the longer I exhale matters. But sometimes I'll alternate them. Sometimes I'll inhale regularly, hold it 5 to 7 seconds, and then I'll blow it out 5 to 7 seconds. But it just depends, okay? Now, when you breathe through it, you're telling the body to calm down. You're literally putting yourself in a space where the body can now just release, really be able to release and calm down, okay? This calms the nervous system. You can do deep breathing with regular deep breathing to calm down. You can do meditation, or you can go outside and ground, okay? Find you a little patch of grass. I don't care if you got to go dig up a little patch of grass from somewhere and put it in a little bucket bin or something and use that while you're sitting outside on your patio. Find a way, okay? Find a way. Now, the third thing on the list is to love it, right? And it's like, how could you love fear? How could you love fear? But you have to realize, like, when you're in that fear state, it's just you trying to protect you, right? So then instead of just being like, oh no, I gotta push it away, just be like, oh, you know what? I'm so thankful for that feeling because it allowed me to see where I am energetically, and now I can shift out of it and know that I am safe, and know that I can choose to trust, and know that I can choose to think something different or bring something else into my reality. Okay, find a way to turn it around for yourself and then reprogram it. So then you want to just use affirmations, right? Like, I am safe, I trust the process, I am creating everything that I want and desire in my life. There's no need to stress or worry. It's not my reality. That fear that I am holding on to is not my reality, you know? I am supported and divinely guided. Things like that. You want to use those words. You want to speak them out of your mouth, okay? And if you need to chant them, then chant them. Chanting is not scary, guys. Chanting is just you repeating the words over and over. And it's like a snowball effect, right? So you're thinking about it like, I am love, I am love, I am love, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. You can visualize the energy just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it just expands and engulfs your energy, okay? So that's what you want. And you can use chanting for anything. You can use it for wealth. You can use it for feeling safe. You can use it for healing your body. You can use it for anything. You can literally chant, I am healed, 30 minutes a day, throughout your day, constantly. When you're not doing anything, when you're just sitting idle instead of watching TV, go ground and chant to yourself. Just sit there and relax and say, I am healthy, I am whole, I am whole, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. Like, figure out a way. Just do it, okay? Figure out a way that works best for you. All right? Now, the truth is, like, fear doesn't mean that you're weak, guys. It doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean anything outside of there's a warning here. There's a warning sign that could be a false alarm, okay? A lot of the times fear is a false alarm because it's just that what if constantly happening. And it's not, sometimes it's easy to break that cycle one time and sometimes it's not. Sometimes you're going to repeatedly have to do it. So stay calm and keep repeating affirmations to yourself. I can give you a tip on something that I do personally, like I do on a regular basis. Everybody struggles with negative thoughts, okay? Sometimes they feel intrusive, but when you're in that space, you think about it, don't give it any energy, okay? And then you ask yourself out loud, is that true? Is that true? If it's not true, then you say, no, that's not true. That's not even happening. That's not in my reality. So I am good. I'm safe. Okay? Do this. Do this little exercise every single time. I don't care if you got to do it 1,000,000 times in one day. Guess what? It's going to help shift you out of that energy and that frequency of feeling like there is something to be feared of here. Okay? And then what I like to do, like, for instance, there was a point in time in our life where we were struggling. Like, I mean, like, struggling. And I got up every morning. When I got up every morning, I said, all my bills are paid. 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 Throughout my day, I would literally, I don't care if I was working on editing. I don't care if I was working on whatever, my project, doing a balloon design, whatever it was, I literally said, everything works out in my favor. Everything works out in my favor. All my bills are paid. Everything works out in my favor. I'm wealthy. I'm wealthy. And I kid you not, every time I start manifesting wealth, it shows up. It's overtime for my husband. It shows up in somebody giving us money. It shows up in having an abundance and something coming to us, or just beautiful moments, you know. So you guys need to really pay attention and focus on this, because sometimes that fear is just your guide, okay? Let yourself be guided from it. Because if I'm sitting here thinking like, man, like I'm jealous of that person because they have a nice car and they have, does that mean I don't have it or I can't have it? Absolutely not. That's just your signal saying like, hey, you might need to check how you feel. You might need to check your worthiness. You might need to check whatever it is that you desire that you feel like you haven't gotten. So just put yourself in a space where you are, instead of looking at it from a negative light, start looking at it from a way to, ooh, now it's a chance to enhance myself. Oh, you know what? That right there that just came across my mind, that's an opportunity for me to go over here and do better. Oh, that right there, that's an opportunity for me to remove it out of my life. Okay? So let's think about it in a different way, because then you start to give yourself back the power and remove the fear which can control you, okay? You will be surprised at how many times we literally react to fear. We react to fear in so many ways. And it can be as simple as going to the store and fearing we don't have enough money and getting the thing that costs the cheapest, even though you know it doesn't taste good. It's not what you want. It's not what you desire. And it's not going to be, you're not going to be happy with it in the end. But because you're in that lack mindset, you don't really think about it that way, because you're just thinking like, I'm going to save some money, but you're not really saving much if it's only $1 or 50 cents more. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there are certain habits that we do that we need to eradicate, okay? Because it shows how much fear that we're in. Being in that lack of power, you literally give your power to the thing that you're thinking about when you're in fear. So standing your ground and being able to take back that power is going to allow you to be able to shift even faster and be even stronger. It just adds to the list of things that you could possibly do to actually catapult yourself to being the best versions of you. So guys, I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you guys are having an amazing day. So think about that. Where can you change in your life? What can you do? Like, what can you do to remove a lot of these things from you, okay? Have you tried crystals? Have you tried essential oils like lavender? It's really calming and relaxing. I'm growing lavender outside now from seed, guys. Like, so there's plenty of things that you can do. Get you some sage, get you some Palo Santos. Every time you start to be around negative energy and you start to fear, light it. Play some pure frequency tones. There are plenty out here. There is, let me see if I can look up the name of the channel that I like to listen to, because it literally helps me when I'm meditating. Sorry guys. When I'm meditating and when I'm just in that space of just wanting to shift and change. I'm going to tell you guys the channel name. He has really good stuff, or she. I don't really know if it's a male or female. But it's called Supernatural Music, and they have pure tones. And I listen to this on a regular basis when I'm sitting outside grounding, when I'm just trying to get my mind together, when I'm just thinking about how I'm going to shift, where am I moving to, what am I doing, what I'm manifesting. These things can help, okay? So try them out, because you might realize, like, this is amazing, okay? Like I did. I discovered that they were amazing. Like, I was listening to frequency music and stuff before, but when I started listening to pure tone, it hits different. It hits different because you don't have all the tones blending in and meshing around and all that stuff. It's just that one tone, okay? Now, I like to turn mine up very loud. I like the very potent. I can deal with it. I meditate with it. I just walk around the house with it on. I clean with it on. Like, it's just, it helps you align into the frequency that you're trying to be in. And they all have different meanings, okay? So one of the ones that I like to listen to is 528, 963, 777. They all have different meanings, okay? So the 528 one is transformation, love, and miracles. It can help repair your DNA. Like, it's just certain things that you can incorporate into your daily life in order to heal, in order to be whole, in order to release, in order to return to the highest vibration that you want to be in. Okay, so try this out, because it's definitely going to help. And of course, as always, meditate. Meditate, okay? Meditate. Stop dwelling on the fear of what it is and all of that. I'm not saying it to harm anyone. I'm not saying it to stop you from, becoming your highest light or any of that. My goal is to only help people enhance enhance their life, enhance the quality of their life, to heal, to be whole, and to be able to release them out into the world to help other people heal and whole. Because that's my mission. That's my goal, right? So when we are thinking about that, like, what are you doing to help the world? What are you doing to help the world? Because you healing you can help the world. You're literally adding to the collective's energy. So if you're in a negative state, imagine you healing, your friends healing, your family healing, these people over there healing, people in this country healing. Then we all become that one connected net that we are all healing. And that means that peace, that love, that positivity, that everything that we are reaching out to expand all over the world can transform the world on a beautiful level. And I mean absolutely beautiful level, okay? Now, the other thing is, and I want you guys to really think about this. Take out your journals. Write it down. Write down what's the thought of fear that's constantly in your head. Are you even in this state? Are you in the state of feeling lack? Are you in the state of feeling like you don't have enough? Are you feeling jealous? What is it? Like, where are you on this journey, okay? Because that fear mindset, that anxiety, like I had anxiety and I did not know what it was. And I literally was like scared, and I had moments where I would just cry, and I just had moments where it just felt like I wasn't in control. And I had to get myself, you got to get yourself, you got to get yourself in order. You got to heal yourself. You got to remove the fear. You got to walk in your power and your divine light. The thing that helped me with that anxiety was, for one, the frequency music. 2, listening to affirmations. 3, getting outside and doing things. Like, get outside and enjoy the day. Just don't worry about nothing that's stressing you for that day. That day, your choice, you are going to go somewhere. I don't care if you go window shop. Go shop for that house that you're manifesting. Go buy a keychain for that car that you're getting. Go look at some clothes that you want to purchase. Go to these fancy stores. Get dressed up and go to these fancy stores. Because if that's the type of clothes you desire to wear, if they're name brand designer, then go to those stores. Get dressed up. Go to those stores. Try on clothes if you can. Like, whatever you need to do, you need to do. But at the end of the day, like, releasing is the big thing for this month, okay? We need to release so we can transform. And how much you transform in a small amount of time if you put the right things in place, if you put the right plan in place, the right blueprint for you in place, okay? Now, you can make this for yourself. You can say, today, on Mondays, I'm going to just breathe. On Tuesdays, I'm going to breathe. Wednesdays, I'm going to meditate at least 30 minutes a day. On Thursdays, I'm going to go run. On Fridays, I'm going to eat no meat. On Saturdays, I'm going to watch a movie and enjoy myself with my family. On Sundays, I'm just going to enjoy doing whatever it is I choose to do. Like, there are different ways that you can set up your blueprint, okay? But make sure that blueprint is beneficial to you. It doesn't have to get the approval of everyone else, okay? Now, I've had people say, like, yeah, but my people don't really do that. The people in my area don't like this or don't do that. And I've had people email me saying stuff like, how can I do that when, people don't support you in that healing process? And it's just not looking for people to support you. The universe supports you. I support you. Okay? You don't have, the people that's in your corner all the time are not going to be family and friends. Okay? A lot of the times, them seeing you heal and grow, them seeing you change, give them the strength. It gives them the courage to do the same. So even if you have to be the first one to step out there and do it, then step out there and do it. Just do it. Do it for you. You doing it for you is going to benefit and show other people around you, like, hey, she walk in her power. He walks in his power. And, he seems strong. He seems strong-minded. Like, there's not going to be much that you can't handle with that kind of mindset, okay? So instead of worrying about that, just keep yourself in a space where you are allowing yourself to release any negative thoughts that come up. Pick them out of your head. I heard in a metaphysics book that, one of the doctors who was a psychologist, I believe. I'm gonna go back and see if I can find the name of the doctor, but I'm reading this book called The Metaphysics, and he was saying, like, when you have these intruding thoughts, when you have these negative thoughts, just visualize them being in a big tree with a whole bunch of little monkeys, right? And you got a lot of little monkeys and stuff jumping around, and they're going crazy. They're screeching, they're moving rapidly, they're doing all these things, right? So just visualize every time you have a negative thought, pick it out, put it in the barrel, cover the lid of the barrel, okay? And then once you do that, then you allow yourself to be in that space where you can fully eradicate that thought, that energy from you, okay? Visualize that being eradicated from you when you come back. Now, I'm not going to say it's not going to come back up, because the thoughts do come back, but you can be at peace knowing that you remove them from yourself. Feel good about it. Like, I'm just going to remove that thought because I don't desire that thought. And visualize putting it in a barrel or bucket and putting the lid on it, okay? That is going to help you. That's a visual that you can do on a regular basis, okay? Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. I'm telling you to just do it. Like, if you sit and wait and you're contemplating too much, then you're afraid still. When you start contemplating too much, then you're starting to build that fear of it not being what you want it to be, or that fear of not knowing what's next, okay? That fear of needing not to be in that chaotic feeling and not being in control. But when you're in that state, thinking something negative, and it's hard to release these negative thoughts, like, find ways that can help you. And this is definitely one. The frequency music, meditation, deep breathing, and visualizing this. Because when I heard this, I thought it was so cool. I was like, oh, that's a great idea. Like, let me try that. And then I do. Because everything that I learned, guys, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to come back here and I'm going to teach you. I'm going to mention the books. I'm going to do what I need to do as far as like helping the world heal. That goal. I am helping the world heal. Every time I heal myself, everything I do for myself, I am helping the world heal. And I'm going to come back here to motivate you guys to heal too. So if that resonates with you and you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. And leave a comment down in the comment box. Are you ready to heal? Have you noticed you have an anxiety, scarcity mindset, doubt? Have you been feeling unsafe internally? It might not be nothing instantly wrong, but you might be feeling it deep down inside. That just means that you need to shift out of a fear mode, okay? Shift out of a fear mode, because it's not going to help you manifest, heal, or be in your highest state if you remain in the same place. We are not about stagnancy. We are literally moving forward on our path, on our map, on our journey, okay? So we need to get clear about what it is that we want to change. And today, it is removing fear. And then we want to take the action, which is doing the meditations, doing the breath work, doing the work to really help us release these things, combating and addressing these thoughts, these feelings. And then we want to take the action. Oh, we're already taking action. Take the action by meditating and breathing, by allowing yourself to rest, to be at peace, to tell yourself and chant over and over that you're okay, that everything is great. And when negative thoughts come up, also that you do not desire to have, because nobody desires negative thoughts anyway. But when you have those intrusive thoughts, stop, address them, think about it. Like, am I really in this state? Did this really happen? Is this happening right now? If it's not happening right now, you tell yourself that it's not happening, and stand your ground with that. No, that's not happening, and it'll never happen in my life. And you cut it off there. Do not stay in there and try to go any further as far as like why you need to over explain why this thing is not happening. It's not happening because I simply don't desire that thing. I don't desire that situation. I don't desire to be in that space. I don't desire to be in lack. I don't desire to. So that's why it's not happening, because I don't desire it. And then you hold that frequency. You walk through your day each and every day, making sure that you are staying in alignment with what you desire. Stay in alignment with what you desire. If you know you're supposed to be moving fear this week, removing fear, then remove that fear. Work on these things. Do exactly what I said. Stay in that frequency. Anything comes up that makes you fear or doubt or even be in that state, you want to stop it at the door, okay? Stop it at the door. Stop it, because at the end of the day, if you allow that fear to come in, just like if you allow a negative spirit or entity to come in, it's going to try to stay there. It's not just going to come and go. It's going to try to remain there. It's going to try to make it its home. So you have to protect your peace, protect your energy, protect it, okay? So you want to protect yourself from that fear. It's not a bad thing that you feel fear. It's just that you need to recalibrate. Recalibrate your perspective. Recalibrate your mindset. Recalibrate your nervous system, okay? So guys, until next time,